Welcome, my darklings. I thought I would share my VHS collection. With how expensive streaming has become and the fickle availability of films on every platform, I thought I would revert back to hard physical media. That way you outright own that copy and you can play it whenever you want for free. Now, while I like to be environmentally conscious, I am aware that the TV I use to play the videos and the videos themselves are all made of plastic. Now, I do cut myself some slack. I'm not creating new demand. It's not like VHSs and TVs that play VHS are still in production. Secondly, I live in a very damp house. Anything that's made of paper or card will go floppy and damp and disintegrate. Card is also a great incubator for mildew, and moths love it. And I would hate for these tapes to degrade further if they were kept in damp packaging. Hence why I prefer plastic. Not because I don't care about the environment, it's for the video's sake that it's protected as best as possible. Most VHSs I get from Horror Stock. I will leave their link in the description. Not been sponsored, it's just where I source all my videos. To the best of my ability, I'll try and go through my collection alphabetically. I have a very limited collection and a very niche interest in films, therefore they're not categorised by genre. First off, we have Beetlejuice. Got the official Warner Brothers case, and you can see VHS is actually in pretty good nick. Now, you'd be surprised and somewhat confused to know that children's shows on VHS are relatively hard to come by, perhaps because they're just treated roughly because they were handled by kids back in its heyday. I did manage to source the first 2 VHSs of the Beetlejuice TV series. I think it's slightly stingy that there's only 3 episodes per tape, but this really brought back some nostalgia for me, seeing these on telly as a child. Next, I have the 1919 version of Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. This is one of my favourite vintage horrors as it influenced Tim Burton hugely. I also have The Craft. They're basically the spooky mean girls of the Halloween season. I have the full Crow series. Now, I do admit the first one is the best, naturally, but I think the continuity and the look of the characters is quite admirable considering it was a different actor used each time. At the time, it was rated 18. This one has Iggy Pop as one of the villains. This one's probably the most over the top out of all of them, but still a fun watch. Next, proudly displayed for this video, I have Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. Absolute iconic film, unbeatable, and even the sleeve is really well designed. One of the first ever Tim Burton films that I watched. I was probably about 6, and that was Edward Scissorhands, so of course I have to add this to my collection. Next, we have the Interview with the Vampire with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, of course. Of course, any vampire VHS collection isn't worth its salt without the Lost Boys, is it? I watched this recently and it was actually so funny. I really recommend it if you want a light-hearted horror comedy. This is more action adventure, but as a kid when I saw this on TV, I thought it was horror, and that's The Mummy. So I suppose it is like a creature feature. While the special effects have not dated at all well and are really corny nowadays, I was actually low-key scared of this. But the older I get, the more I enjoy this. There's just so many great one-liners and all the characters are so memorable. Now, I've yet to watch this version, but this is the 1962 Phantom of the Opera. So it's not the Lon Chaney version, but it is still only rated PG. I do have the sequel to Interview with the Vampire, and that is Queen. It's still got the original 2-for-1 offer at the Dungeon sticker on it. Oh darn, it was valid until the end of December 2003. Some of my favourite episodes of The Simpsons are Treehouse of Horror, so can you imagine my delight when I found a VHS with just the Treehouse of Horror episodes? They only have 4 and I couldn't find any other Treehouse of Horror VHSs, so if you know of any and have links to where I can buy them, please put that in the comments. It would make my day. Arguably, these are a selection of the more iconic ones up to the time that this VHS was produced. So you've got where Mr. Burns is Dracula, the one where there's that weird 3D wormhole that Homer gets stuck in, and the classic parody of The Shining. Another legendary comedy is Spinal Tap, and this actually includes a couple of deleted scenes that I'd never seen before. Next we have Underworld with an extremely young Kate Beckinsale. This is the newest addition to my collection. I've yet to watch this and check the quality of the tape. Finally, we have the film adaptation of Pink Floyd's The Wall. This was such a pivotal moment in my childhood when I saw one of their concerts recorded, and they had all these over-the-top puppets, amazing acting, and all done through the music. I'd never seen anything like that, and I was just really blown away with all the creativity, all the multimedia that went into such a show. Sadly, the spine is quite sun-bleached, but the front and back are fairly well preserved. This was distributed on video in 1982, so of course it will have some wear and tear. Even back then it was only rated for 15, but I thought some scenes were quite disturbing, especially when you look at it in context and see the deeper meaning behind all the visuals. Not a pick-me-up, not a light watch, but very important. So this is my Bush television. It's got a built-in VHS player, but you can also record VHS. You got your 2 speakers, and also you can listen via headphones. At the back here, there's also a TV aerial hole as well. This is the remote, pretty straightforward to use, works with AAA batteries. Let's give this film a go. This is actually under the public domain now, so it should be legal for me to show bits of it on my channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Do you have any films on VHS? You're more than welcome to reminisce in the comments. Just as I've shared the shop in my description of where I get my VHSs from, if you have any links to reputable video shops and sellers, do share them in the comments. I have other collections that I've shown in the past and plan to in the future, but I also go to events and vlog any travel that I do. There's something for everyone, so do consider subscribing. And with all that said, I will see you next time. Take care, my darklings. Bye bye.